The most dangerous thing you can do as an actor is to sit by your phone waiting for a gatekeeper's permission to perform. We are taught that our job is to audition, and then to go back to our day jobs until someone else writes a script, raises the budget, hires the crew, and finally picks us up out of a line of 500 other people. That is a recipe for burnout, bitterness, and a very short career. Today we are talking about why acting is only one piece of the puzzle, and why building your own IP, your own intellectual property, is the ultimate cheat code to taking the power back in this industry. Hi guys, welcome back. If you're new here, my name is Andrew. I'm an actor, an author, and a virtual filmmaker. On this channel, we break down the mindset, the tech, and the strategies that you need to take absolute control of your acting and creative career, so you never have to wait for a gatekeeper to give you permission to act or make art. If you want to join the community, hit subscribe, drop a like, and let's get into why actors need to become creators. Let's look at the reality of being a working actor. You spend 90% of your time asking for permission. You ask an agent for representation. You ask a casting director for a slot. You ask a director for the role. When your entire career relies on other people saying yes, you carry an energy of desperation into every audition room. And casting directors can smell desperation a mile away. They don't want to hire someone who needs the job to validate their existence. They want to hire an artist who is already in motion. So how do you get in motion when nobody is hiring you? Well, you hire yourself. You build your own IP. An actor is just a storyteller who uses their body and voice as the medium. But you don't have to limit yourself to just one medium. Most of us actors are multi-talented in the creative realm. You can act, but you can also sing, or write, or play an instrument, or paint, or design. A few years ago, I realized I wanted to play in massive cinematic worlds. I wanted to tell stories about magic, hidden civilizations, and morally grey characters. But I didn't have a Netflix budget, and I wasn't getting cast in those massive fantasy shows being a no-name actor. So I wrote the story myself. I'm currently finishing up my young adult urban fantasy novel, Riftcaster. Writing a novel gave me back my agency. I didn't need a casting director to tell me I was allowed to explore that world. But here's where the real magic happens, and why being a virtual filmmaker ties it all together. Because I learned how to use virtual production to shoot my own demo reel or show reel scenes, I don't just have to write my book. I can build the sets of that book using tools that you also have access to. I can cast myself as the characters in that world. I can shoot cinematic trailers for a world that up until now only exists on my laptop. When you do this, when you write, when you produce, when you direct your own scenes, two things happen. First, you stop reeking of desperation. When you walk into an audition room, you aren't begging for a job. You are an artist stepping away from your own projects for an hour to collaborate on theirs. That confidence is magnetic. Second, the industry stops seeing you as just a prop and starts seeing you as a peer. Now, you do not have to write a massive fantasy novel, but you do need to start generating your own work. Write a short film, shoot a cinematic scene in your bedroom, build a world that belongs entirely to you. Use your imagination. Maybe you're a designer, so create a graphic novel. Maybe you're a musician, so write a song and build a scene around that. If you're an artist, then paint a picture and turn that picture into a 3D world that you can act in. I mean, you can literally step inside your own painting. Acting should not be your only creative pursuit. Or if it is, then create your own scenes, short films, make content. It doesn't matter where, it doesn't matter how, but an actor doesn't want to sit around not acting or not being creative. Now, if all of that sounds exciting, but you have no idea how to go about it, then you can learn the exact virtual production tech that I use to shoot these cinematic scenes from home in my online masterclass, Unlimited Reels. I've dropped a link below in the description. But what I would like you to take from this video is that so many of us actors, we sit around waiting, just waiting to be creative. And that, not being creative, is a recipe for disaster. Because not only does it make us depressed, but it also puts our entire future into somebody else's hands. It means that when we walk into an audition, we are desperate for the role, and we do not actually perform the way we would if we were confident. It makes us want to give up, because we are fundamentally creative people. And if we see acting as our only creative outlet, but things are not happening, then we just walk away from it because we don't believe we can ever satisfy that creative itch. So please, take a serious look at your other creative pursuits. Try writing, poetry, music, painting, sculpture, anything that gives you an outlet. Then combine that somehow with your acting. And now you have a way to sustain yourself even when you aren't being offered roles. Now your confidence comes back. Now you have an outlet. And when you walk into an audition, you can project the truth of the character you're playing, rather than scent au desperation. Stop waiting for the phone to ring. Go make something. And I'll see you in the next video.